Hello and good evening. I'm Joy Holt and this is the 18 WJTS News. A Pike County man was placed into custody Monday evening after authorities were alerted of possible drug activity at a Huntingburg factory. Around 8:45 Monday night, a pair of Huntingburg police officers received a call from the department's K-9 officer about the alleged activity at the facility located along the 4400 block of South 400 West. Officers made contact with factory supervisors and located a vehicle that was believed to have been involved. Previous permission was granted to conduct a search of the vehicle in question. A K-9 search of the truck owned by 50-year-old Lloyd Coleman of Petersburg indicated the presence of drugs. Coleman was brought outside the factory. Police say a search of his truck found a clear glass smoking pipe with burnt residue inside the passenger side door. A loaded handgun along with a scale was also found. A search of Coleman's property found various items that tested field positive for drugs. Officers also located several other types of prescription pills. Coleman was placed under arrest for possession of methamphetamine, dealing in meth, possession of paraphernalia, carrying a handgun without a permit, maintaining a common nuisance, 4 counts of possession of a controlled substance, and possession of a firearm by a serious violent felon. After being processed at the Huntingburg Police Department, he was taken to and booked into the Dubois County Security Center in Jasper. In other police news, a police investigation of accusations of child molesting resulted in the Tuesday evening arrest of a Huntingburg man. A week ago today, Huntingburg police, along with the assistance of the Dubois County Department of Child and Family Services, launched a child molesting investigation that stemmed from an incident that occurred in March. The department received a complaint from the Dubois County Department of Child Family Services that involved concern over the well-being of a 4-year-old girl. Yesterday, a detective with Huntingburg Police spoke with 37-year-old Adam Humbert of Huntingburg at the police headquarters for further investigation. The interview ended with police placing Humbert under arrest. He was taken to and booked into the Dubois County Security Center in Jasper on a level 4 felony count of child molesting. He's being held without bond. A man who fled from county drug court offices yesterday on foot ended up down by the river. 37-year-old Brett Gelhausen of 4020 Manor Drive of Jasper was reported to have fled the Dubois County Drug Court office located on Brook-Straw Street on foot during the late morning hours Tuesday around 11 a.m. An employee of the drug court office notified Jasper police that Gelhausen had fled the building. A deputy who responded to the area observed Gelhausen on the riverbank of the Patoka River near South Newton Street in the area part of the River Walk Park. Gelhausen did not stop at the bank of the river but continued on into the water, which was about 3 to 4 feet deep and frigid. Police reported that he hid for a short time in a large culvert under Clay Street, but came out of the culvert and took another dip into the river. An assisting responding deputy then had to enter the river and took Gelhausen into custody as he continued to attempt to flee. He was arrested for resisting law enforcement, a Class A misdemeanor charge, and a hold for his drug court violation. The Dubois County Sheriff's Department was assisted by officers from the Jasper City Police Department, Huntingburg Police Department, and employees of the Jasper City Street Department. One person received minor injuries and no one was charged in a 3-vehicle accident that took place along US 231 just north of State Road 56 in Hayesville during the noon hour on Tuesday yesterday. The Dubois County Sheriff's Department says at around 12:15 yesterday, 43-year-old Karen Holtz of Lagodi stopped her passenger car in order to turn left into a parking lot of a business. Behind her was 35-year-old William Baker of McCordsville, who deputies say quickly braked and started to go around Holtz to the right. Meanwhile, a third vehicle, an SUV driven by 45-year-old Shannon Helderman of Washington, was unable to stop in time and struck Baker and Holtz vehicles from behind. Holtz complained of pain and was transported to Memorial Hospital in Jasper for treatment to her injuries. No other injuries were reported. Holtz and Baker's vehicle received $2,500 worth of damage each, while the Helderman SUV sustained $3,000 in damage. No charges were filed. The Dubois County Sheriff's Department was assisted by Hayesville first responders and Memorial Hospital Emergency Medical Services. Highway 231 was blocked for about 30 minutes while the scene was cleared. Out of Ferdinand, the first 2 public informative open houses were held last night in Ferdinand as residents were able to view and share input on the proposed 345 kV line from southern Indiana to northern Kentucky. Last night at the Ferdinand Community Center, landowners in the area were able to take a detailed look into potential transmission line routes for the new proposed 345 kV line from Duff in southwestern Du Bois County to Coleman, Kentucky. Republic Transmission hosted the open house meeting to gather public input into the routing process. Questionnaire evaluations were on hand for landowners to voice their comments and/or concerns with where the potential line routes could be decided. Republic has been designated to design, construct, and operate a new single circuit 345 kilovolt high voltage electric transmission line from the Duff substation. The project was deemed necessary through ongoing studies and evaluations by the Mid-Continent Independent System Operator. In their findings, they considered seasonal demand fluctuations along with growing consumer needs and the integration of renewable energy. In 2015, MISO identified the need for a new transmission line in the area due to congestion on the existing lines, which were operating close to full capacity. Currently, there is no direct connection between the 2 points of Duff and Coleman. Power between these areas are carried through multiple grids of transmission lines, some of which are lower voltage and can reach their capacity during certain operating conditions in a more accelerated time frame than their correspondent lines. Adam Gastaway, a project manager for Republic Transmission, discussed the importance of the open house and what's in store for landowners of the route.
After we identify what our preferred route, we'll narrow the people that are invited down to just those landowners that are impacted, and then we'll likely have another meeting to also discuss further the next steps for the project with those impacted landowners.
When a final decision is made on the route, Republic Transmission will face acquiring easements to the property for the project. Republic and its consultants will consider information gained from public feedback during the open house meetings into overall routing evaluations. In state news, Governor Eric Holcomb signed District 74 State Representative Lloyd Arnold's bill into law on Monday, which aims to reduce fatalities of young Hoosiers riding off-road vehicles. Under House Enrolled Act 1200, those younger than 18 years old will be required to wear a helmet while riding or operating an off-road vehicle such as an ATV. In a release, the Leavenworth Republican says one of the main goals of this law is to help raise awareness in Indiana about the precautions kids need to take when enjoying off-road vehicles. Arnold says they've seen time and time again how helmets can save lives, and he appreciates the outpouring of support for this legislation from the Southwest Indiana lawmakers. Over the last 5 years, 1,285 ATV-related injuries have occurred in the Hoosier State. The Indiana Department of Natural Resources says fatalities are on the rise. Last year, there were 22 deaths resulting from off-road vehicle accidents. Of those 22, only 3 were wearing helmets. Currently, Indiana state parks and facilities require ATV riders, regardless of age, to wear helmets. That requirement, however, does not extend to private property. The new law will go into effect July 1st. Arnold represents House District 74, which includes portions of Spencer, Du Bois, Perry, Crawford, and Orange counties. We'll be right back after this with your local weather outlook and 5-day forecast.